Hey guys, welcome to online learning. We're having so much fun learning online. We stopped off after proteins, so we had filled out a pie based on what that athletic trainer had kind of put up in that video. So it's a pretty standard recommendation that you make 55, maybe 60% of your calories come from carbohydrates. Those are 4 calories per gram. They're the first source for energy. So carbohydrates will be the biggest proportion of our diet. In that same video, she said, "Well, how much fat should you have?" And it ended up being about 30% of what most people's diets are, and it's a pretty standard recommendation. So, like 30% of your diet should come from fats. That's 9 calories per every paperclip sized gram of food. So there are obviously healthier sources and unhealthier sources that you can draw from. Like the ones that kind of come from plant sources are going to be maybe better for your cardiovascular system than the other types of sources. But here's what fats do for you. They offer insulation for your body from temperature extremes. So we'll see sometimes, well, there are Eskimos that kind of live in the northern parts of Alaska in the Arctic that actually have a subcutaneous layer that's a little bit more substantial that offers that insulation. It also adds flavor to our food. So like when we have a salad, we throw a little dressing on there. That's going to make it taste a little bit better. It does help with joint health too. That's not on this slide, but it helps with joint health. They are necessary. So if you were to take your calorie cap, and if you don't know how to find your calorie cap, I need you to go on Google right now and just put in BMR calculator. And then I want you to put it, it'll ask you for your age, for your gender, for your height, for your weight. So you'll populate that and it'll spit out a number at you. And that number it spits out is your estimated basal metabolic rate. So if you were to do nothing all day long, just sit on the couch and just sit there, then you would need that BMR number. So there's another number that you can do on that same page. You can say like, okay, BMR with activity, and there will be a little chart that says if I'm this active, add in this much calories. If I'm this active, add in this much calories. So you should start from your cap, which is a BMR plus activity. So it might be 2,000 for you. It might be 2,500 for you. In some cases, where we have like high school boys that are actively in their sport, we could have you as high as like 4,000 calories. So whatever your cap is, and it will be unique to you, you'll take that number and multiply it by 0.3. That'll give you about the number of fats that you need in a day. If you're kind of just doing what regular Americans do, and maybe you're a little bit active, not too much, that's a good ratio to go from. Okay, on this slide, you'll get another recommendation. So this is for athletes, and it might differ a little bit from calories. So in this case, you'll take your body weight and you're going to divide that by 2.2. That will convert your body weight in pounds to kilograms of body weight. And then you'll take that number and multiply on the bottom end by 1 and on the top end by 2. So that should give you the number of fats you need, kind of from an athletic perspective. So another way to do it. And then if you wanted to convert that to calories, all you have to do is multiply by 9, because we're dealing with calories, our fat grams in this case. Hopefully that makes sense. Another thing we need to worry about are the micronutrients in our diet. So there will be a short assignment just basically detailing like what do these different vitamins do for you. And it'll kind of just be a basic overview, kind of like we did the lobes of the brain. So you can go, this vitamin does this and that vitamin does that. There are vitamins that our body makes and vitamins that have to be synthesized. And there was quite a debate between a couple of the doctors that I worked with before. One was a cardiologist and one was a general practitioner. And the cardiologist, he kind of would make fun of me because I have a kind of a supplement regimen that he said, all you're doing is paying for expensive urine. And the general practitioner was saying, actually, I've seen some really good things in my patients from them taking a vitamin. So it was kind of this idea of like, you get to decide if you eat the rainbow of flavors in fruits and vegetables, then you're probably getting most of the vitamins that you need. We threw this out to Americans. We said, eat 5 fruits and vegetables a day. That's it, 5 a day. And Americans really struggle with 5 a day. The American Cancer Society says 9 or 10 if you want to actually stave off cancer. They're saying like eat 9 or 10. So the majority of us can't give 5. And so in my brain, it's not a bad recommendation to say, okay, you might be paying for expensive urine here, but it might be a little bit of insurance too for your health. So I take them. That's my opinion. You kind of have to decide for yourself if you want to go into taking vitamins or not. So we have some fat soluble ones and some water soluble, and the ADEK, if you will, are going to be the fat soluble. You guys will research this a little bit in the assignment. I think that'll be the best way in this format to go through it. And then water soluble are going to be the B's and the C's. And then we get into minerals. So there will be a point in which we're talking about training again. We're talking about how we can affect change in our muscle. And for every muscle contraction that we have, we need ATP present, and we also need calcium present. If we don't have calcium present, then there are a couple of little, I'm going to forget, myofibrils that won't connect. So we have actin and myosin that only connect if calcium is present. So imagine if you don't have calcium in the body, you can't contract a muscle. And in some cases, we get a muscle contraction that's fixed and we can't uncontract the muscle because we don't have some minerals present. So there will be reasons why we need these different minerals. It won't be for energy, similar to, in most cases, protein, because protein is going to be used for growth and repair. Minerals will be used for just simple cell functions, things that are essential to us actually contracting our muscle or having strong bones and things like that. Water is also super important. This is the 6th and final essential nutrient that we have to have. We can't live without. We're about 70-ish% water in our bodies, and we need to be constantly replenishing it because we're constantly losing it. We don't think about it when we just sit here and I'm talking. I'm actually releasing moisture in the breath. When we sweat, we release moisture. When we urinate, we release moisture. And so we have to replenish it. Kind of a rule of thumb, there are some people that say 8 cups a day. That's it. That's what you need is 8 cups a day. That's 64 ounces. And frankly, that's probably a pretty decent recommendation. That's pretty good hydration. Unless you're an athlete, you probably need a little bit more. Another recommendation is take your body weight in pounds, divide by 2. That'll give you ounces, and that's about the amount of water that you would need. The best way is to just kind of check your urine. If it's clear to pale yellow, you're good. So we'll probably do a tracking assignment so you can see how good your hydration is. And that's it for nutrients. So the assignments, I'll outline those in the announcement. And you guys have the greatest of online weeks